Muslim women are going to change the world. We are in a state of flux. Old systems which were obsolete, which were not working anymore, new systems are going to take place that are going to be better. This new generation, Gen Z, is going to absolutely not want the kind of world we were creating for them. They have already rejected it. Women are going to rise, and in some areas, they are going to rise to the top, whether you like it or not. It's happening already. They are really connected to the basic teachings of Islam. The world will benefit from it. It will change. Assalamu alaikum. This is Eram Saeed. I wanted to explain one of the statements I have been making. It's everywhere on my platforms. It's on my website as well, that Muslim women are going to change the world. So I've gotten a lot of questions, a lot of backlash. It has disturbed a lot of men. I don't know why. And a lot of women also, which was really surprising because they just said, how, why? We don't want to. Well, let's talk about why I really, truly, firmly believe that Muslim women will change the world. First of all, I don't think I have to tell you this, but the world is changing very, very rapidly right now. We are in a state of flux. I know it's creating a lot of polarity. It's creating a lot of uncertainty around the world. A lot of people are blaming the West. If you come to Pakistan, they're going to blame the West that, it's all these Western agendas and they're creating all this change. We're seeing very high divorce rates, confusion about gender roles. There's also confusion on a global level where, countries are behaving in a way that they didn't behave before. People are electing presidents that kind of people you would never have imagined are now presidents. So there's very, very major changes happening. And I think they're going to continue to happen. We're going through a major upheaval. And when there is huge change in the beginning, all we see is chaos. But there is once it starts settling, we begin to see, okay, now we can see there's some stability happening, emerging. And a lot of times this is how old systems which were obsolete, which were not working anymore, new systems are going to take place that are going to be better. This new generation, Gen Z, is going to absolutely not want the kind of world we were creating for them. They have already rejected it in many ways, and they're going to continue to reject it. And they're going to create another world based on what they believe is to be right and the kind of ethics and stuff that they want to follow. And I frankly have a lot of hope with Gen Z because I think they are more conscientious than our generation was, and they are more committed to ethics and justice and human values and environment that we frankly have been pillaging for generations. So I'm excited and hopeful always because my faith is in Allah Ta'ala that while the world is going through all these changes, the one in charge and the one in control is always going to be Allah, and He's still in control. So I expect a lot of khair to come out of it. One of the systems that has absolutely become obsolete and is on its way out and is going to change in a big way is the patriarchy. Just like it has changed in other parts of the world, it is going to change in the Muslim world as well. Whether you like it or not, you cannot stop it. It's already happening and it cannot be stopped. And frankly, it should not be stopped because Islam was never for patriarchy or misogyny. Islam had the first very strong message for equal rights for women 1500 years ago, which we hijacked and we tried to bury it. And now the time has come when you will no longer be able to bury it. Women are going to rise. And in some areas, they are going to rise to the top, whether you like it or not. It's happening already. Why I think Muslim women will change the world is because some very bold, courageous, opinionated women are not going to sit back and take nonsense anymore. They are ready. They are already leaders in their fields. They have taken charge and they're going to create some pretty significant changes. Another thing that you might not know, I would encourage you to do your research, is that one of the most exciting emerging markets in the West happens to be professional Muslim women. They do a lot of studies there to see which emerging market can we sell products to. So this is one of their most exciting emerging markets. I was reading an article and it said Muslim women in about 3 to 5 years' time are going to be representing $1 trillion market in the West. Muslim women living in the West are already more educated than their counterparts, which are Muslim men. Muslim women living in the West are already at higher earning jobs than Muslim men. So pretty soon that is going to be widespread. So now that Muslim women are going to be financially independent, they're going to be in these places of leadership, they are going to change the way things are done, and they're going to change the way that women are treated. And I feel very strongly, if we get the right message to all these Muslim women so that they don't blame Islam for the oppression that women have faced, so that they understand that Islam actually gives a very balanced, beautiful blueprint for women and men, then we will be able to save ourselves from the kind of hardship and destruction the West has faced because of the freedom of women that they pursued. There are a lot of really good things that came out of the feminist movement in the West and the women's liberation. They're wonderful things. We should not throw away the baby with the bathwater. For example, the agency that women have, the autonomy that women have is a really good thing, and we should keep that. And Islam also gives that to women. But some of the other things where the masculine, the men, have been ostracized so much because women were oppressed by men in the past, now it's almost like we don't want to see any masculinity. Good men are confused because they don't know what place they have in the society. What role are they supposed to play in the society? Is it okay to be masculine? Masculinity is a beautiful thing. It's a gift from God, just like femininity is. We don't want to discourage masculinity. What we want to do is encourage healthy masculinity. So wherever the patriarchy or toxic masculinity has been hurting both genders, we need to go back and really study what are the healthy interactions between men and women so that women can feel comfortable in their femininity. Because in the past, in the West, in order for women to feel powerful and strong, they suppressed their femininity and tried to be more masculine. That actually, this ended up hurting women so much. It's created crazy amounts of anxiety and depression, and it's created this imbalance in marriages, and women don't know whether they want to be a man or a woman. Similarly, now it's happening to men in the West, where they don't know if they should be a man or a woman. If they're too much in touch with their feminine side, women reject them as being too nice or not being strong enough or too sissy or effeminate, so it's confusing for men as well. If they are masculine, then women blame them as, being too masculine, and they use terms loosely like misogyny or patriarchal. So there's a lot of mass confusion going on, and both genders are unhappy. When we look towards Islam, it gives us a very healthy, balanced formula for both genders to coexist, and celebrating and recognizing the uniqueness of each gender, right? I know many women who consider themselves to be strong, independent women, and the way they want to see men in their lives is basically just a masculine version of themselves, not recognizing the fact that men are very different from us and women are very different from men, and both have some very unique, beautiful qualities that should be brought to the table. So when we have that, when we have this balanced understanding of gender roles, where Muslim men and Muslim women become each other's allies, and they are really connected to the basic teachings of Islam, the world will benefit from it. It will change. Another way that the world is changing in a very big way, which is also very exciting, is that with this AI revolution that is happening, people are saying that the first big revolution that changed the world entirely was the Industrial Revolution. The way the world used to exist changed completely. It touched everything. Then we had, of course, the internet, which was also a revolution, and we can see that now today everything is affected by it. But this revolution, the AI revolution, is going to be way bigger than the Industrial Revolution and the internet. It is going to change everything. It is basically going to create a level playing field for a lot of people. What does that mean? People, typically families who had built wealth since the Industrial Revolution, might still be families that have that wealth. They accumulated wealth and they control the world. Now the world is going to see these idea economies that are going to sprout overnight, and overnight billionaires and trillionaires are going to be formed. So it could be someone who otherwise is impoverished, doesn't have any resources, but now because of advancement of technology, all you need is a smartphone and maybe a laptop. Based on their idea, they develop a software or they create a solution to a problem that didn't exist a year ago but exists now. It creates a solution in everything. You're talking about sudden emergence of wealth, and it's going to be a level playing field. So people who were uber rich suddenly might go totally broke. People who were pretty mediocre might suddenly emerge as billionaires and trillionaires. And in that, there's a lot of opportunity for women as well. Women in IT. So that's why, again, I believe because there is going to be such a flux and a change, typically the male-dominated industries may not even be in the game anymore. So anybody with intelligence, with a little bit of resources can create money. And money, of course, has influence. And if it goes in the hands of more and more women, typically whenever women become successful as CEOs, as leaders, and they become rich, what studies have shown is under women being as leaders, they impact their whole community because they care about children, they care about, what happens to the environment. So when wealth shifts into the hands of women, we will see, instead of economies based on competition, which is a very masculine model of doing business, we will see businesses and maybe even countries, nations based on the model of collaboration, which is a very feminine based model, because women typically like to work in groups. They collaborate, they bond, they don't have that much competition. The way they succeed is through collaboration. Another reason why I think that Muslim women will be at the forefront of this change is because whenever a party is aggrieved, whenever a party has had their rights oppressed, they have a higher desire to actually change things. Frankly, that's why in the beginning, at the forefront, it's going to be women, not men, because frankly, why would they want to change things? It works well for them. But when women start saying no to those kinds of bad behaviors that are frankly immature and not very attractive and not very masculine, not at least in a healthy way, then men will be forced to consider changing themselves. And we will both have to go back, study the Quran, find the formula from that so that we can all be healthy members of a society and support each other. And when we do that, when we go back and connect to the original message of Islam, we say no to all these wrong interpretations that have misled the ummah of Muslims for so long, which have created all this disparity in gender roles. We reject all of that. We connect to the original message of Islam. That is when beautiful reform is going to take place. That will, inshallah, take us back to the times where we will be looking towards what did our dear Prophet teach us? What did Quran actually say? And how did the Sahaba live their lives? Just like the early Muslims did, and all the progress in the world was actually because of Muslims. Muslim scientists were at the forefront of all the different fields of science. They were connected to the Quran. So we will be forced to connect to the Quran. And inshallah, because of that, the Muslim Ummah will change in a very big way. And we're talking about 2 billion Muslims. 1 billion are women, 1 billion are men. When 2 billion people change, or let's say it begins with women, 1 billion people change, they affect the other billion, the whole world is going to change. So I hope now you understand why I'm so excited and hopeful. I hope that I might be able to see some of that change in my lifetime. But if I don't, I guarantee you it's going to happen in the next 20 to 50 years for sure.